College has been a sore spot for Democrats. Since 2000, they have seen two of their presidential candidates win the popular vote, only to lose the Electoral College and the election. Plus, Senator Warren also is saying it's time to have a national conversation about reparations for slavery and other forms of repression. Here she is.
America was founded on principles of liberty and freedom and on the backs of slave labor. This is a stain on America. It's time to start the national, full-blown conversation about reparations in this country.
Senator Warren's fellow 2020 candidates that you see here on the big wall, Kamala Harris, former Obama cabinet official Julian Castro, have all signaled that they favor reparations in some form. But let's unpack this. Kennedy, I want to start with the Electoral College, which the Democrats, it's an interesting thing that they want to tear down what they built.
The Electoral College, what Liz isn't saying is, of course, presidential candidates go to California. That's where they go to get a bunch of money so they can run the rest of their campaign in battleground states. And that's a system we have set up so far because they're not going to go to places like Iowa and Wyoming and Oregon if you're just focusing on the densely populated states like New York, Massachusetts, and California. And those are the only places. And frankly, you know, I've lived in California for the better part of my life, and I don't trust California voters to make every decision because they are, by and large, pretty schizophrenic when it comes to their voting preferences. And I don't think the presidency should rest entirely in their hands. And also, this is a constitutional issue. And I would encourage Senator Warren to go back and read several amendments, including the 12th, 14th, the 15th, and see how the Electoral College is crafted and how it plays into our political life.
See, you make me thirsty for a 2-hour program with that. Like, I would love to be able to do that.
Especially in the Electoral College.
So let's talk about what I said previously and the role that the Democrats have played with the Electoral College. And I'm thinking namely of those super delegates because they thought they could really sweeten the pot. And it hasn't helped them. Why not?
Because it comes down to candidates, right? It comes down to candidates and running.
Here we go back to human beings again.
Well, what Katie said earlier, right? We don't live in a democracy. We live in a republic or a representative democracy, right? The Electoral College was designed to prevent tyranny of the majority from the founders' vision. And I think that's equally as, if not more important now when we have the internet, when we have social media, when it's so easy to create this outrage mob that, you know, everyone's the PC police. So I think that having California and New York and Illinois as the 3 states that are going to guarantee a Democrat wins every 4 years, that's really not the answer.
Don't
Maybe
forget
the answer is
Florida will find a way to screw it up.
Go out and run better campaigns. Win the states you need to win.
So, Jessica, why is your party, Democrat Party, losing with the Electoral College but winning with the big election? I get California and I get some of the more populous, but why can't they make that system
work?
Well,
they can. You guys are acting as if we've never had a Democratic president. We just finished 8 years of President Obama. Bill Clinton got 2 terms. He upset H.W. Bush. People didn't think that was going to happen.
We just said the last couple of elections.
The last one. Besides, before that, we had a Democrat. And one who was hugely popular.
Elizabeth Warren flapped her claptrap about this.
That is not what was happening. I actually very much enjoyed her town hall and thought she did an amazing job in connecting with the audience.
Wonderful.
All right. Anyway, the point is that what Elizabeth Warren is talking about is actually reflected in the public polling. 65% of Americans want to abolish the Electoral College, 32% in support, and only 3% are undecided on this issue. You rarely get a poll that shows...
Isn't it a constitutional issue?
It is, absolutely, but it doesn't mean...
So why are we polling?
Why? Because it's going on in the national discourse. We got amendments for very good reasons. If we just had the original set, we would be in a whole lot of trouble as a nation.
Go through the
having this conversation, I don't know why that's destructive or it should be the cause for mockery.
Yeah, we can have the conversation about the Electoral College, but if you want to change it, then you shouldn't do it through this roundabout way of the national popular vote. You should go through the process of what it takes to repeal a constitutional amendment. And Democrats know that's not going to happen, so they're going around the system and advocating for one that allows certain states to have tyrannical rule over the others and states to not have any say. And the fact is that swing states change all of the time. They're the same for a little while, and then they change. This idea that we're only getting, that the swing states are controlling the conversation is not true. But I want to cede my time to Harris on a topic we are discussing. The second topic that you mentioned about the issue of reparations. A number of Democrats have come out in favor of that, and I know that you have some strong feelings about it.
I have strong feelings because, look, I know our history. It's a shared history with slavery in this country. I get it. And I also understand that reparations are kind of in that spirit of what we can do to make the past right. I'm raising children, and what I try to teach them is that we want to make the future bright. We can't always correct the past, but what we can do is we can create jobs. We can create opportunities. We can teach people to fish rather than just eating fish, as the Bible says. I'm paraphrasing, obviously. And so my concern about reparations or apologies and all of that is that we're trying to fix something that is so incredibly broken in the past, but we're taking our eye off the ball of the future. You could take some of that same money and create some opportunities for young people. You could train. There are a whole bunch of things you could do with that cash. You also have a strong view on this from a different perspective.
I have two pretty strong views. I mean, they keep blaming America for the sin of slavery, but the truth is, throughout human history, slavery has existed, and America came along as the first country to end it within 150 years. And we get no credit for that to move forward and try and make good on that.
We did have a very bloody civil war
over that issue.
We also
years are a long time.
The racial history, the remnants of the Civil War, particularly blacks in the South.
Correct.
Yeah.
That was not an easy path. That was bloody and violent and deadly.
And there were Native Americans here when we showed up.
We're still. My point is that we were the country that decided to end it, and we're still dealing with the issue. But if you want to start a problem and to inflame racial tension even more, start blaming people who have nothing to do with slavery for the sin of slavery. That is not fair. That's not the American way, and we shouldn't be doing it.
All right. We'll move on. A bunch of documents released on the FBI raid of President Trump's former attorney and fixer. What they tell us and don't tell us about Michael Cohen and his damaged credibility. A live report next. And